People think aging is a slow death. They think getting old means waking up tired, depending on medicines, losing strength, memory, purpose, and waiting for life to end. But let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. I'm 87 years old. I still drive myself. I don't depend on anyone. I rarely visit doctors. And I wake up every morning without pain, without fear, and without regret. This didn't happen by luck. It didn't happen because of good genes. And it definitely didn't happen by following what society told me aging should look like. It happened because of what I do every single morning, before the world wakes up, before the noise begins, before excuses take over. If you're young, this video can change your future. If you're older, this video can give your power back. And if you think it's too late, this video may save you from a lifetime of regret. Today, I'm revealing exactly what I do every morning that keeps my body strong, my mind sharp, and my spirit unbreakable at 87. So before we begin, like this video, because wisdom like this is disappearing. Subscribe, because your future self will thank you. And watch till the end, because the last habit is the reason I'm still alive, alert, and free. This is not motivation. This is experience. Let's begin. 1. I wake up before the world. Not because I have to, but because I respect life. I don't wake up early because I'm chasing success. I wake up early because I've already lived long enough to understand what truly matters. At 87, sleep is not something I escape into, it's something I return from. And every morning when my eyes open before the sun, I don't feel tired. I feel chosen. Chosen to see another dawn. Chosen to breathe again. Chosen to witness a world that hasn't started demanding anything from me yet. Most people wake up after life has already begun shouting at them. Alarm clocks screaming, phones buzzing, worries waiting. By the time they open their eyes, their nervous system is already under attack. Their day starts in defense mode. Their body tightens. Their mind rushes. And slowly, year by year, that chaos ages them from the inside. But before sunrise, the world is honest. There are no expectations in the morning silence. No comparison. No competition. Just breath and presence. When I wake up before the world, my body listens to me again. My heartbeat feels softer. My joints move without resistance. Even my thoughts don't interrupt, they wait. This is when the body repairs itself. This is when the mind remembers who it is. This is when the soul finally feels safe enough to speak. I've noticed something powerful over the decades. People who stop greeting the morning slowly stop greeting life itself. They sleep deeper, wake later, complain more, and feel weaker not because of age, but because they've lost rhythm. Life has a rhythm. The sun respects it, the earth respects it. And when you stop respecting it, your body follows that disrespect. Waking up early is not discipline. It is devotion. Devotion to being alive while others are unconscious. Devotion to stillness before noise. Devotion to awareness before distraction. I sit by the window as the sky changes color. I don't rush it. I let the light enter my eyes naturally. That light tells my brain, it's safe to wake up. It balances hormones, it steadies the heart. It gently reminds the body, you belong here. I've seen people younger than me struggle to stand up, complain of exhaustion, and say, I feel old. And I always want to tell them this truth: old age doesn't begin in the body. It begins the moment you stop respecting the morning, because when you wake up with the sun, you are telling life, "I'm ready," and life responds by keeping you ready. This simple rhythm rising with light has kept my body young in ways medicine never could. It keeps my digestion regular, my sleep deep, my mood steady, my mind clear enough to still drive, still decide, still live independently. The sun rises and so do I. Not out of force, but out of gratitude. That rhythm is ancient, and it's the reason my body still believes in tomorrow. 2. I drink water like my life depends on it, because it does. Before tea, before food, before the world places its weight on my shoulders, I drink water, not hurried, not distracted, not like a habit. I drink it slowly, the way you would receive medicine you truly respect. Because at 87, I have learned something most people discover too late. The body doesn't collapse from age, it collapses from years of quiet neglect. People chase health in bottles and prescriptions. They swallow pills hoping to fix what they never took care of. But the most powerful medicine I've used for decades comes without a label, without a cost, and without side effects. It's water, the first language your body ever understood. Over the years, I've watched sickness begin in small, invisible ways. Dry skin ignored, fatigue blamed on age, headaches dismissed, digestion slowing, joints stiffening, blood thickening, and behind all of it, silently, was dehydration, a body begging for support and being answered with caffeine, sugar, or silence. When you wake up, your body is thirsty from surviving the night. Every organ has been working while you slept, cleaning, repairing, regulating. And the first thing most people do is ignore that effort. They reach for tea, coffee, their phone, anything except what the body is asking for. I chose differently. Each morning when I drink water, I imagine it traveling through me like a message. We are still alive, we are still moving, we are still capable. Water wakes up the stomach gently. It tells the liver it's time to cleanse. It allows the kidneys to release yesterday's burden. It thins the blood so the heart doesn't have to struggle. This isn't theory. This is experience. I've seen people my age complain about dizziness, constipation, joint pain, low energy, and when you look closer, they barely drink water. They treat it like an option, like a background detail. But the body doesn't survive on neglect. It survives on attention. I don't gulp water like I'm in a race. I sip it like I'm listening. Because when you drink slowly, your nervous system calms. Your body absorbs instead of reacts. You're not just hydrating the body, you're reassuring it. At 87, reassurance matters. Water keeps my skin alive, my joints flexible, my mind clear. My digestion honest. Doctors have asked me, "What medicines do you take?" And I tell them the truth, very few, because my body hasn't been fighting dehydration for decades. Most people wait until sickness forces them to care. I chose to care before sickness arrived. This one morning act has saved me from countless problems I never had to name. And that's the real power preventing suffering before it demands attention. So when I drink water in the morning, I don't just hydrate my body. I honor it. I thank it for carrying me another day. And I give it the one thing it cannot replace, substitute, or fake. Because water doesn't just keep you alive, it keeps you functioning. And at 87, functioning means freedom. 3. I move my body gently, but I never skip movement. I don't move my body to impress anyone. I move it so it doesn't abandon me. At 87, I no longer chase strength, I protect function. I don't run marathons, and I don't lift heavy weights, because I've learned that the body doesn't need punishment to stay alive. It needs permission. Every morning, before stiffness has time to settle in, I move, slowly, intentionally, without violence. Because if you wait until the body feels ready, it never will. Stillness invites decay, and decay is patient. I start with stretching, not forcing, not pulling, just asking my joints if they are willing today, asking my spine if it still remembers how to rise. And every time I stretch, something important happens. The body responds. It doesn't resist, it remembers. People think aging is about muscle shrinking. It's not. Aging is about circulation slowing. When blood stops reaching places regularly, pain arrives. When joints stop being moved, fear replaces confidence. And when fear enters the body, movement disappears completely. I refuse that cycle. I walk not fast, not far, but daily. I let my feet remind the earth that I'm still here. Each step pumps blood back to the heart. Each step tells the nervous system, we are safe, we are capable. That message matters more than speed or distance. I've watched people younger than me avoid movement because it hurts. What they don't realize is this: it hurts because they stopped moving long ago. Pain is often not a warning to stop, it's a reminder that you already did. At my age, movement is not about fitness. It's about dignity. It's the dignity of standing up without help. The dignity of walking into a room on your own. The dignity of not fearing your own body. When I breathe with the movement slow, deep, intentional, my organs wake up. Oxygen reaches places that medicine never touches. The lungs expand. The heart relaxes. The mind settles. This is not exercise. This is maintenance of life. The body rusts when you stop using it. Not dramatically, quietly. One stiff morning at a time. One avoided walk. One chair chosen over movement. And then one day, the body no longer asks its demands, and by then, the price is higher. So every morning, I send my body a clear message. You still work for me. You are still needed. You will not be forgotten. This simple ritual has kept me independent when others surrendered. It has kept my balance steady, my reflexes alive, and my confidence intact. I don't move to become young again. I move so I don't become fragile. Because fragility is not age, it's neglect that finally catches up. And as long as I can move even gently, I am not finished. 4. I breathe deeply, because shallow breathing ages you faster than time. Most people don't realize they are holding their breath through life. They wake up tense. They rush through the day tight. They fall asleep exhausted not from work, but from constant internal panic. Their breathing is short, shallow, nervous, as if something terrible is about to happen even when nothing is. I've watched this for decades, and I've learned something uncomfortable. People don't age from years, they age from fear, and fear always shows up first in the breath. At 87, every morning, before movement, before food, before the world enters my mind, I sit and breathe. Not to meditate, not to impress, but to remind my body that it is safe. In through the nose, Slow, deep, silent, out through the mouth, long, gentle, complete. That rhythm tells the nervous system something medicine often fails to communicate. There is no danger right now. When breathing is shallow, the body stays in survival mode. Muscles tighten, digestion weakens, blood pressure rises, sleep becomes light, healing slows. The body thinks it's under attack every single day, and slowly it wears itself down. This is why people feel tired even when they do nothing. Their body never rests. Oxygen is invisible medicine. It reaches places pills cannot. It feeds the brain clarity. It softens the heart. It tells the organs to stop bracing and start repairing. When I breathe deeply, my chest opens, my shoulders drop, my jaw loosens, even my thoughts slow down. And in that moment, something powerful happens. My body begins to listen again. I've noticed that people who breathe shallowly are easily irritated, easily overwhelmed, easily sick, because their nervous system is constantly screaming, even in silence. They live in reaction, not presence. Deep breathing brings you back into the body. It brings blood to the brain, steadies the heartbeat, and gently pulls the body out of panic. And when the body exits panic, healing begins. That's not philosophy, that's biology. At my age, calm is strength. I don't breathe deeply to relax. I breathe deeply to survive well. Every long exhale releases years of tension stored in the body. Tension people mistake for age. Tension that stiffens joints, clouds the mind, and steals sleep. I've seen people younger than me struggle with anxiety, heart issues, digestive problems, and when you watch them closely, their breath never fully leaves their chest. They are alive, but they are not inhabiting themselves. Deep breathing is how you come home. That's why my mind is clear. That's why my reactions are slow. That's why my body responds instead of resists. Each morning I sit and breathe as if my life depends on it, because it does. Because the quality of your breath decides the quality of your nervous system, and the quality of your nervous system decides how fast you age. Time doesn't age you. Tension does. And breath is the only door out. 5. I expose myself to sunlight, not screens. Morning sunlight is not just light. It is instruction. For thousands of years, the human body learned how to live by watching the sun. When to wake, when to eat, when to rest, when to heal. And then, suddenly, we replace that ancient teacher with a glowing screen that knows nothing about the human body. At 87, I don't wake up to my phone. I wake up to light, real light. The kind that enters through the eyes, touches the brain, and gently says, "It's time." Most people begin their day by shocking their nervous system. Blue light, notifications, bad news, comparisons, worries. Before their feet touch the floor, their hormones are already confused. Stress hormones rise. Sleep hormones don't shut off properly, and the body starts the day out of rhythm. That confusion accumulates. Morning sunlight sets your internal clock, not symbolically, but biologically. It tells your brain when to release cortisol naturally, when to suppress melatonin, and when to prepare the body for movement and digestion. When this rhythm is respected, sleep comes easily at night. When it's ignored, sleep becomes a battle. I've watched people complain about insomnia while staring into screens at sunrise. They take pills at night to fix a problem they created in the morning. Sunlight strengthens bones, not only because of vitamin D, but because it signals movement, balance, and alertness. A body that sees the sun regularly remembers how to stand tall, how to coordinate, how to stay upright. At my age, that matters more than strength. Sunlight also improves mood in a way no screen ever could. Screens stimulate, sunlight regulates. One excites the mind, the other calms the entire system. That's why anxiety has increased in a world that rarely sees the morning sun. I sit quietly and let the light reach my eyes. I don't stare at the sun, I let it arrive. That gentle exposure stabilizes my hormones. It keeps my appetite honest, my energy steady, my emotions predictable. Even dachte. People ask me why I don't feel depressed or restless. I tell them the truth. My mornings are not filled with artificial urgency. They are filled with light. I've noticed something painful over the years. People who wake up to screens wake up already behind their own bodies, behind their natural rhythm. And the body, when ignored long enough, stops cooperating. Hormonal imbalance doesn't start with age. It starts with misalignment. This one decision, choosing sunlight over screens, has protected my sleep more than any supplement. It has protected my mood more than entertainment. And it has protected my mind from the constant agitation that makes people feel old long before their time. The sun rises without demanding anything. Screens rise demanding attention. So I choose the sun. Because when you let natural light guide your mornings, your body remembers how to guide itself. And when the body is guided, not forced, it stays young in the only way that matters. It stays willing. 6. I eat simply, not emotionally. I don't eat to escape loneliness. I don't eat to numb boredom. I don't eat to reward stress or punish sadness. I eat to live. At 87, I've learned that food is not entertainment. It is not therapy. It is not comfort. Food is communication between you and your body, and most people have turned that conversation into noise. I've watched people eat when they are tired, angry, anxious, or empty inside. They call it hunger, but it's not. It's emotion asking for attention and being silenced with excess. And every time that happens, the body pays a quiet price. Simple food, natural food, enough food, not excess. That is not restriction. That is respect. At my age, digestion is sacred. It is not something you can abuse and recover from later. Every heavy meal demands energy. Every excess bite steals blood from healing, from repair, from clarity. When you overeat, the body doesn't rest, it struggles. That's why I say this without softness. Overeating is violence. Violence against the stomach. Violence against the liver. Violence against the heart. And violence accumulates silently until one day it speaks in pain, disease, or dependency. I've noticed something over decades of watching people age. Sickness doesn't always arrive suddenly. Sometimes it looks for a place to stay, and it stays where the body is already overloaded, inflamed, exhausted, and confused. I don't give sickness that space. I eat foods my grandparents would recognize. Foods that don't need explanation. Foods that don't come with noise, advertisements, or addiction. When the body understands the food, it relaxes. When it relaxes, it heals. I stop eating before I feel full. That moment matters. That pause is the difference between nourishment and burden. The body whispers when it has had enough. People who listen stay light. People who ignore it grow heavy not just in weight but in spirit. I've seen people younger than me complain about acidity, bloating, diabetes, fatigue, and then eat like they are running from something. Running from silence, running from emptiness, running from themselves. Food cannot fix what only awareness can. Eating simply keeps my blood clean, my digestion predictable, my sleep deep, my mornings light, and because my body is not constantly repairing food damage, it has energy to protect itself. That's why sickness doesn't linger. It knocks and leaves. At 87, I don't need excitement on my plate. I need peace in my system. I need a body that responds when I ask it to move, to think, to drive, to live independently. Every simple meal is a decision. I choose clarity over craving. I choose strength over stimulation. I choose longevity over momentary comfort. And that choice, repeated quietly, has protected me more than any diet trend ever could. Because when you eat simply, the body stops fighting you and starts working with you. 7. I keep my mind grateful, not bitter. This is the real secret. Not movement, not food, not sunlight, not breath. Those keep the body alive. Gratitude keeps the will alive. Every morning, before I speak to anyone, before I think about the past or worry about the future, I remind myself of one simple truth. I am still here. At 87, that sentence carries weight. It is not positive thinking. It is recognition. Recognition that another morning arrived, that my heart chose to beat again, that my lungs opened, that my legs still carried me out of bed. Most people wake up and immediately count what is wrong: pain, loss, regret, comparison. They replay old conversations, old betrayals, old failures. And without realizing it, they begin their day poisoning their own nervous system. Bitterness is not just emotional. It is chemical. It tightens the jaw, hardens the chest, shortens the breath, and slowly teaches the body to stay tense even in rest. I have watched people age faster from resentment than from illness. Their bodies still worked, but their minds had turned against life. They carried anger like a companion, and the body, loyal as it is, carried that anger everywhere. I refuse that weight. Gratitude is not pretending life was easy. My life was not easy. I lost people. I was betrayed. I failed. I aged. I felt pain. Gratitude is choosing not to live inside those moments forever. Every morning I release comparisons. Someone else's success, someone else's health, someone else's life path. Comparison turns gratitude into hunger, and hunger never ends. I release complaints. Complaints train the mind to search for problems, and a mind trained to find problems will always find them even in a healthy body. I release anger. Anger feels powerful, but it exhausts the heart, and at my age, the heart deserves peace. Gratitude softens the body. It lowers inflammation. It steadies the pulse. It deepens sleep. This is not poetry, it is consequence. A calm mind creates a cooperative body. That is why I still drive. That is why I still decide for myself. That is why I still move through the world without fear of my own weakness. Sickness avoids bitter bodies not because they are strong, but because bitterness already keeps the body in a constant state of internal conflict. Gratitude removes that conflict, and when the body is not fighting itself, it becomes difficult for illness to stay. I do not ask life for more. I thank life for what remains. And strangely, the more I thank, the more capable I become. At 87, independence is not about strength. It is about cooperation between the mind and the body. Gratitude makes that cooperation possible. So every morning, I stand quietly and say nothing else but this: I am still here. And that is enough to keep me alive, not just breathing, but willing. As this video comes to an end, remember one thing: you don't age because of years. You age because of neglect. Neglect of your breath. Neglect of your body. Neglect of your rhythm. Neglect of your mind. Time doesn't break you suddenly. It waits. It watches what you ignore, and slowly it collects the consequences. Every morning is a negotiation with life. When you wake late, rush, skip water, avoid movement, stare at screens, eat emotionally, and carry bitterness, you are telling your body, survive without my help. And it does, for years, until one day it can't. But when you start your mornings right, something extraordinary happens. The body forgives. It forgives missed years of care. It forgives bad habits. It forgives neglect if you stop repeating it. When you wake with the sun, breathe deeply, move gently, drink water with respect, eat simply, choose light over screens, and gratitude over anger, the body remembers its original design. Healing doesn't feel forced. Strength doesn't feel heavy. Life feels possible again. That is why I am still here. Still driving. Still independent. Still clear. Not because I avoided aging, but because I stopped abandoning myself. One morning, habit seems small, but repeated daily, it becomes your future. So if this message spoke to something deep inside you, like the video, subscribe for wisdom that actually matters, and comment, I choose life, because the way you begin your mornings will decide how you live, or how you slowly fade. And today, you still get to choose